Hey guys, this is YT42 and welcome back to Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga Avatar Tuner. Yeah, we're back at the first game. We're about to do all the optional stuff. What's the name? It'll be a fun time. I mean, I haven't done most of this optional stuff before, so shall be interesting going into it. But anyway, let's go to our save files here, and I'll give a rundown of what we got. So this top save file, that's when we beat the game during recording, and we got to the extra save file. So yeah, that's where we left off essentially at almost 18 hours. This is a file that I grinded to hell on. Grinded quite a bit on. Yeah, but before going to New Game Plus, so I essentially went back to just before fighting the final boss, grinded a bunch here, and just sort of, you know, just so I could get more spells for New Game Plus. 5 and below, they're all just straight from, you know, midway through the Let's Play. Karma Temple, what is this? Oh, I guess I'll go over that later. That is a clock. What have we got? This one, this is essentially where we're up to. I've been grinding in Karma Temple in the Karma Temple. I kept calling it the Karma Tower all throughout both DDS 1 and 2, but that's more the second game's dungeon instead of this is the temple. So that may have been a little confusing. But anyway, let's go ahead and load up this save file. Because this is where I've gotten all the good abilities and all that. So let's check here. Meanwhile, Spider String plays second movement. Well, not anymore, but so yeah, where we left off. Yeah, there's quite a few abilities that we've gotten now. Also, there's this ability which I'll go. Oh, this mantra which I'll go over later. Actually, also these few which normally don't unlock until you finish the required mantras beforehand. So, okay, so what have I got for Surf? Surf, I mean, this isn't exactly accurate to what we had, to what we have now, but this is just before I started New Game Plus. So we've got Miragi Dine, and we've got all the we've got Bufudine maxed out, all the ice spells. Electricity almost maxed out. Healing maxed out. Essentially, he got Madeira Rahan by the time the end of New Game Plus. Got a bunch of ailment spells. Didn't start on any of this. He did get Mutual Karma though, although we got that at the end, didn't we? Of the Let's Play. Also unlocked this. You unlock this after finishing Dark Leader, which gives you Mind Charge and Last Word, and Megidollar. But if you max that out, you unlock this, which gives you Megidollar and Null Element. God, that's amazing. Null Element makes it so if you have it equipped, you automatically just void any elemental attacks. So, you know, that's pretty broken. Just takes a lot of grinding to get it. As you can see, it's a 8-star mantra. This is a 9-star mantra. Godly Spirit gives you Auto, Soma, and Null Element. Null Element makes it so you can't be affected by status elements at all, except for Curse, because that's technically death magic. Auto Soma is essentially Victory Cry in the newer SMT games, which means that after every single battle, you fully restore your HP and MP, which is amazing, especially for New Game Plus. Didn't really do anything else, really. Surf just spent a lot of his time on these ones. Alright, Heat has gotten quite a few things. Well, for one, he maxed out all of these mantras, all of these physical mantras up here. Most aren't that useful. However, the best, is it here? Yeah, Insatiable. Insatiable is probably the best hunt spell in the game. Well, it is, because Great Feast, is it? Or Last Meal, sorry. Last Meal is, what's the name, not only sponsored by Wikipedia, but it's also just, it's one of them random, maybe it'll instantly kill, most times it won't, sort of things, whereas Insatiable's damage. It's only moderate damage though, that's the highest you'll get. But if you max out all physical spells, he got all these really quickly because he was devouring everything. You unlock Destroyer, which gives you Ragnarok, Null Physical, and Life Surge. I mean, Life Surge isn't much to go on about, but Ragnarok, actually let's go over Null Physical first. That, you know, if you get hit with a physical attack, you automatically void it, which is amazing. And Ragnarok is, it's essentially Mega, is it heavy or Mega? Mega Almighty damage, but it's tied to your physical attack stat. It's something weird like that. But it also lowers the enemies, it hits all targets, and it lowers their defense by 1. So it's crazy useful. It's really, really, really good. He also maxed out all of these, essentially all of them. So yeah, he maxed out Medea Rahan. And if you max out either Medea Rahan or this one, which has Debilitate, which just lowers all stats of the enemy by 1, which is amazing. Null Expel and Null Death are also pretty good. He didn't get to Xanadu, Dikaja, and Dikunda though. I think Argila and Cielo did though. If you max out any one of these, then you unlock Vicious God, which gives you Vanity, which Mana Surge, which also, but Salvation, which is Medea Rahan, but it also heals all status elements. Any status element, and it's amazing. Okay, Argila. Oh, my bad. Argila, I don't know if you maxed out Materadine by the end of the Let's Play, but she has now. She's maxed out all of these essentially, actually every single one. She's maxed out Debilitate now. Xanadu, Dikaja, Medea Rahan, Recalmdra as well, and Salvation. Recalmdra makes it so as long you only need 1 HP to use it. You sacrifice yourself to bring back all other party members and revive them to full health and MP. So that's pretty useful for those tough boss fights. Once you get to a certain point where you can only get where the broken skills are only useful, but they're super expensive, you sort of just have them going on these pointless little mantras like, you know, Chakra Walk. Oh, both Heat and Argila have Auto Soma. I essentially just went through the game spamming fusion spell called Black Sun with these 3. So yeah, Gale, what'd you get up to? Gale, I mean, he went for Dark Leader, did all that. He hasn't gotten either of these yet, like 1,400,000. That's not even the most expensive one. I'll show you the most expensive one in a second. Anyway, he started on, you know, all this line of stuff, which is like buffs, debuffs, status spells, or stat element spells, revival spells. So you get Summer Recalm here. He's already gotten Recalmdra though. And Cielo oddly has, you know, maxed out a lot of these pretty fast. He hasn't been devouring anything, he just has a lot of it. He's completely maxed out this entire bottom grid. Everything down here is maxed out. There's no point in getting Shared Karma. There just isn't, because Mutual Karma makes it so you receive 100% of experience when you're not in battle. Shared Karma is just 50% of experience, so there's no point in downgrading and buying it. He has gone for a bit of the physical spells, but I'm damn well sure that he hasn't been hunting anything. But anyway, that's essentially it for what happened before I went and beat the final boss. And the reason I'm doing New Game Plus is because you get some exclusive stuff if you do that. So essentially the best way to go through New Game Plus is with, where is it? Black Sun. So you need Ragnarok, Megiddo, and Salvation, so that's pretty, you know, it's a lot of work to get that. But once you do, Mega Almighty damage to all. Hell, let's just show it off. Okay. Let's go somewhere where I can show it off. I don't think there's random counters here. Also, yeah, Ananta was absolutely destroyed. Because we have Null Element. There really isn't much Ananta can do. Kind of wish I recorded it, you know, sort of like a comeuppance for it. Just to say, like, who's number 1 now, huh? Who's number 1 now? Anyway, let's just run the circles and get an encounter. There we go, okay. So we've got 2 topper passes here. Normally, the enemies in this dungeon are the worst. I hate playing through this dungeon, you know, for the 4th, 5th time. But if you use Black Sun, you get this. Also, so yeah, it's a lot of damage. I won't. That's a reference to DDS2, and to the ending of this game. But I won't reference. I won't point out to any stuff in DDS2 in case you watch this. You know, the entirety of this before DDS2, because at the time I'm filming this, I finished DDS2. It's already uploaded. All of it's already uploaded. But you know, this is during the this is DDS1, and so you know, maybe you just finished watching the final boss and the ending, and you don't want to move on to DDS2 yet, and you want to watch the rest of the bonus content for this video for this game. In which case, I won't spoil any DDS2 for you, so you're welcome. DDS2's bonus content is going to be such a pain in the ass, honestly. But anyway, how about we cut to our new file? So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so back at the file select screen, we're going to go to the second file. This is the file that I used, that I'm primarily using as my save slot now instead of the first one. So yeah, we've got the extra, which next to the save file, which lets you know that you know, you've beaten the game before and this is New Game Plus. So in case you've forgotten, New Game Plus makes it so you lose all of your items, all of your money, all of your levels, all of your stats, essentially everything except for your combos and your spells. You get some, you know, you get to keep all your spells, so some crazy stuff we got equipped here. Nothing we haven't seen already though. But now we can see the mantras that we've got for this save file. There won't be many more because you don't get much AP going through the game with these crazy good mantras. Okay, let's start with Surf. Surf hasn't really changed much. He's gotten Salvation. That's neat. Bit of physical spells. It's mostly just working on all the elements, because if you get all the elements, heat, if you max out all the elements, you unlock this mantra, which is 2 million Maka. 2 million Maka. Monotheist, null attack. That's all you get out of this. Which I don't know if it's worth 2 million Maka and the grinding it takes to finish this mantra, but it makes it so. Oops, bump the mic. It makes it so you void every single attack, any you know, magic attack, physical attack, except for status elements, except for Almighty. And I don't know if that's worth it, because you know, you can just get null physical and what's it called, null element. You know, I don't think it's entirely worth to have to max out all of the elemental things here. But yeah, Heat really, he just has nothing left to do. I even got him Shared Karma. He's got nothing left to work on. That is a clock. I mean, there's obviously Salvation, but all the stuff is expensive. Salvation, Dark Leader, Dark God, I think that is. So yeah, there's nothing else for him to master. Argela, what happened with you? She maxed out all of these. I guess she maxed out Dark Leader and... oh, sorry, this is Dark Lord. That's Godly Spirit. There's no Dark God, I guess. She's currently working on maxing out all the elements. Gale. Are you on Shared Karma? You are, wow. So I'm pretty sure there's some sort of bonus for maxing out a character's mantra grid. So yeah, that's all of this. This is Gale. Really isn't much to show for him. Ciello's maxed out almost all of the elements. He's maxed out the entirety of this bottom section. So yeah, that's that, I suppose. So yeah, I just don't have anything for Heat to do. Really, I got nothing for him to work on. So anyway, what do you say we actually get started on the optional content? You know, I just had to show off all the bonus stuff. Alright, so actually, if you're doing the same thing that I am, make sure that you go to the very, very tail end of this dungeon, Karma Temple L, just before Gal says, alright, this is the final boss up ahead, you sure you want to go out, it's a point of no return. That room, after defeating Ananta. Make sure that you talk to every single party member up there, on New Game Plus. You have to be on New Game Plus and you have to talk to every single party member up there. So yeah, that'll save you the hassle of going back through that section of the dungeon. Because, ugh. I'm so sick of going through the last section of this dungeon. I'm so sick of the dungeon in general. I love Spider String, the second movement. But I prefer it when, you know, I'm listening to it on the soundtrack. So, yeah. We want to head to... Well, okay. So I've got a little guide with me here that I've written myself with pen and paper. Let's see. What do we want to do first? We want to go and find the other keys, because we never got the keys. We have the yellow key, which we got from Tokyo Disneyland. But the red key, we need to go back to Ajna. Okay. Or Ajna, whatever. I keep thinking it's Janana. Every time we come in here, I think, is it Janana? No. Jinano. But it feels not really spoiler alert at all. It's not a spoiler at all, but DDS2 on the PS3 runs exactly how it should, you know, perfectly, and this game runs at 50 Hz despite it being clearly made for 60 Hz, and ugh, it's very noticeable. Okay, so we need to head here. So that's okay. We just gotta go down here. Because down there is actually, is it worth? Do we have any Astomas? I doubt we do. Nope, no Astomas. I'm gonna go grab some because Astomas are just super useful to have. The way they work is they're essentially, you know, they ward off random encounters for as long as the solar cycle goes for. So, you know, whenever it goes back to minimum to restart a new cycle, then that's when the Astoma wears off and you got to use a new one. Unfortunately, oh, there's a vendor right there. My bad. Unfortunately, Astomas are a little expensive. It's 3,000 Maka each. That's, you know, if you buy a lot of them, then they are going to pile up in terms of value. So, have we gotten any new... I don't know if we've gotten any new bonuses here. I guess the Graven Image, I don't know if we found that last time. But yeah, it's essentially like a hero ration. Sorry about that noise in the background. Oh, maybe a brave ration. Maybe a hero ration. But it's reusable as many times as you want, but only in battle. Chakra Elixir is a chakra drop, but only usable in battle, but it's you know, you can use it as many times as you want. Let's get about 20 Astomas just for future use. So yeah, that costs 60,000 Maka. It's not exactly too expensive, but it's not cheap either. So I mean, they are going to come in handy. Oh, and just like any RPG on the surface of Earth, you can only, well, Astomas will only work effectively if you're higher level than the demons you run into. Which, yeah, I always forget that demons can have levels in this game, but they can. So that's interesting. Oh yeah, really didn't find any good ammo throughout the game, unfortunately, in New Game Plus, and I forgot to sell any cells. Okay, whoops. Stoma spray. Hopefully that's not going down, that solar cycle, in which case I just wasted a stoma spray. Let me use another one. But yeah, if I'm going back through previous areas where there's just no point in fighting demons, I'm using Astomas. Unfortunately, it's not a spell. It can't be a spell in this game. Like in any other SMT game. So yeah, it's annoying. Anyway, it's always a pleasure to hear Samsara Tunnels' theme. But yeah, so where we're headed, do you guys remember that waterfall with the underwater section where we have to twist the valve? Yeah, that's where we're headed. So if you go through there, you get to the end, you unlock a special item. So let's see, if we head down here. Now this section sucks, so I'm just gonna go off a little sort of guide that I've written down for myself here. Okay, so luckily we won't run into any random encounters here thanks to the Ostoma. Alright, so let's get this going. So we want to head south. South. Use this as a guide if you feel. Feel free to. West. South. We're a quarter of the way there. Okay. We've got to go through the cutscene first. South. North. Alright, so here we are at the valve section. So once we get here, we have to twist the valve, which will restart the solar cycle and flip the current. Okay, so from here we need to go south. East. East again. Oh, well, now it's gonna tell me that's gone. Oh, it didn't get rid of the Ostoma. Interesting. So yeah, east again. Then north. North again. East. Go to a completely different section here. Strange sense of foreboding pervades the area. Ugh. East. We'll see that exact same text box later on. And you'll know why that's important. And south again. That should be it. So if you follow all those steps exactly, you get taken down this very long corridor, and you end up at this ladder. Climb the ladder, and we get to here. The red key. So now we have 2 of the 3 keys. It destroys red walls, of course. So, I mean, we don't have any, well, I can think of one red wall that's very important that we'll need to destroy. But yeah, unfortunately you can't just teleport out of here. There's no Traisto in this game, or Traport. Unfortunately, so I'm just gonna waste away the thing here, or try to go back where I came from. So yeah, anyway, I will see you guys when we get to Svartistana, because that's where we have to go next. So see you guys in a second. Alright, so back here in Svartistana, we have to get all the way back to Harley's Harley's section, or where we fought Hyagriva, the first boss. So that's quite the trek because there's no terminal to teleport to get there quickly. So we're in it for the while, for the long haul. That is clock. Get a lot of money out of that, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, by this point of the game, when you're trying to max out all these crazy good mantras, the only amount of money that's deemed a lot is 1 million at least. And when you're constantly spending millions over and over, it's a pain in the ass. So anyway, here's that red wall from earlier. We're not going to go there just yet because that's optional stuff, and I want to get all the keys before anything else. So let's save. I'm gonna hit 40 hours soon. It's crazy. Yeah, most of the game time is just grinding, unfortunately, because in order to do a lot of this optional stuff, or in order to be able to beat it, you're gonna have to have a lot of grinding done. So it's unfortunately. I say unfortunately, I can't remember. It was phased out. Yeah, so we're back in the hideout of the chickens. We have to get to... Okay, it's there. So we have to do that loop around, sure. I mean, it's just a bit of a walk. We've got a stoma spray, so we're okay. Yeah, stoma's a lifesaver, essentially, because it's a little more forgiving. Also, we never got those items up there. It's a little more forgiving in the PS3 version unintentionally because the game runs slower. It runs at 50 Hz. The random encounters aren't as frequent as they would be with 60. So maybe that's just why, the only time that I've ever played this game has been at 50 Hz. So, maybe that's why I don't really notice the random encounters being too bad. But if you play at the full 60 like you're intended to, yeah, they can be pretty bad. Although Nocturne, it's about the same, and it's really not much of a problem there. So I guess everyone has their own different tolerances to random encounters. So let's use another Astoma. Oh, we have the wall up. Right. Yeah, going through the Vanguard's base is always always got to think about it a bit before you go through. It's kind of annoying, but oh well. But yeah, I think you can do this. I think you can come get this final key after, I want to say, after you fight Usa, so once Jinana dies at the Citadel. I think then you can come back and do the rest of this, get this final key and everything. So yeah, if you try to come back here before then, nothing. So there isn't really a, I guess maybe there's an NPC somewhere that tells you about this, but there isn't really anywhere that'll tell you about it. So if we come back to this room where Harley was, we get this guy. This belonged to Harley, but he was defeated. The new leader inherits the possessions of the old. And we get the blue key. So now we have all 3 keys. Don't have to worry about finding them again. There's some crossbows. You never really get the chance to look around this room, do you? So it's mostly just in cutscene. Oh hey, it's Vishnu. Vishnu times 2. Vishnu is a recurring SMT demon and appears in DDS 2, so look out from there. Let's teleport back to the beginning of the base. Thank God we can. Save once more. And unfortunately now we have to go back to Tokyo Destinyland. It's gonna be great. Okay. Yeah, this won't be the last time we go here either. Will it? No, it won't be. But now that we have all 3 keys, we can go get a lot of the optional walls destroyed. Unfortunately, a lot of them are also locked behind optional bosses. So, you know, that's not exactly something we can do yet until we beat them.